Your parent just forgot to pay their electric bill for the third time this month. You found spoiled food in their fridge again. They're still driving, but you noticed a new dent on their car. You know you need to say something, but every time you try, it turns into an argument that ends with them not speaking to you for days. I'm going to show you exactly how to have these impossible conversations without destroying your relationship. Because here's what nobody tells you. The way you start these conversations determines whether your parents will listen or shut down completely. Most people get this completely wrong. They wait until there's a crisis. They lead with criticism. They treat their parents like children. And then they wonder why their parents refuse to cooperate or accept help. Let's talk about why these conversations are so incredibly difficult in the first place. Your parents spent decades being the authority figure in your life. They made the decisions. They took care of you. Now you're trying to reverse those roles, and their entire identity is wrapped up in being independent and capable. When you suggest they might need help, what they hear is that they're failing. That they're no longer competent. That their independence is being taken away. This triggers a defensive response that's completely natural and predictable. Here's the first critical strategy. Never ambush your parents with serious conversations. I've seen adult children show up unannounced and immediately launch into concerns about driving or living alone. This approach fails almost every single time. Instead, schedule the conversation in advance. Call them and say something like this. Mom, I'd like to come over Saturday morning to talk about some things I've been thinking about. Is that a good time for you? This gives them time to mentally prepare and shows respect for their autonomy. The setting matters more than you might think. Don't have these conversations in public places where they might feel embarrassed. Don't do it during holiday gatherings when other family members are around. Choose a private, comfortable setting where they feel safe and in control. Now let's talk about the actual conversation structure. Most people lead with a problem. Dad, you can't drive anymore. Mom, you need to move to assisted living. This immediately puts parents on the defensive because it sounds like an ultimatum. Start with your feelings instead. Use I statements rather than you statements. Instead of saying you're forgetting things, try this. I've been feeling worried lately because I care about you and want to make sure you're safe and happy. This approach is much harder to argue with because you're expressing your own emotions, not criticizing them. Here's a specific example. Let's say you're concerned about your mother's driving. Don't say, Mom, you're a dangerous driver and you need to stop. Instead, try this. Mom, I've noticed some changes in your driving lately, and am worried about your safety. Can we talk about this together and figure out what options might work best? The difference is enormous. The first approach attacks their confidence. The second approach invites collaboration and shows you're on their side. You're not their adversary. You're their partner in finding solutions. Listen more than you talk. This might be the hardest part because you're anxious and want to get your points across. But your parents need to feel heard. Ask open-ended questions. What are your thoughts about this? How are you feeling about managing the house? What concerns do you have about the future? When they share their fears and concerns, validate them. Don't dismiss or minimize what they're feeling. If your dad says he's worried about losing his independence, don't respond with, well, you should have thought of that before. Instead, say, I understand why that's scary. Your independence is really important to you, and we want to help you maintain as much independence as possible. Here's a powerful technique that changes everything. Focus on what they can still do, not what they can't do anymore. Frame conversations around maintaining abilities rather than losing them. Instead of saying you can't live alone anymore, try, we want to help you stay in your home as long as possible. What kind of support would make that easier? Bring specific examples, but do it carefully. Vague concerns are easy to dismiss. If you say "I'm worried about you," they can respond with "I'm fine, stop worrying." But if you say "I noticed you missed your doctor's appointment last week and forgot to take your medication on Tuesday," those are concrete observations that are harder to deny. However, don't pile on examples like you're building a legal case. That feels like an attack. Choose one or two specific instances that illustrate your concern, then stop. Let them respond. Give them space to process what you've said. Involve them in the solution. This is absolutely critical. Don't come to the conversation with everything already decided. Even if you've researched options and have strong opinions about what should happen, present it as a collaborative process. What do you think would work best? What options would you be comfortable exploring? Sometimes you need to have the same conversation multiple times. Don't expect one talk to solve everything. Your parents might need time to process information and come to terms with changes. Plant seeds and be patient. Follow up gently rather than pushing for immediate decisions. Know when to bring in reinforcements. Sometimes parents will listen to doctors, financial advisors, or trusted friends more readily than they'll listen to their own children. There's no shame in asking their doctor to discuss driving safety or medication management during an appointment. Here's what to do when conversations go sideways. If your parent becomes angry or defensive, don't match their energy. Stay calm. Acknowledge their feelings. Take a break if needed. Say something like, "I can see this is upsetting you. Let's take a pause and come back to this another time when we've both had a chance to think." Avoid certain phrases that trigger negative reactions. Never say "you're just like a child now." Don't compare them to other elderly people they might know. Don't threaten them with consequences like, "If you don't stop driving, they'll take your keys." Threats destroy trust and make future conversations even harder. Document concerns when safety is truly at risk. If your parent is genuinely putting themselves or others in danger, you may need to involve their doctor or even adult protective services. This is a last resort, but sometimes necessary. Keep notes about specific incidents, dates, and concerns. Consider the role of siblings and other family members. Ideally, everyone should be on the same page before approaching your parents. But if that's not possible, don't let family disagreements prevent necessary conversations. You might need to have these talks even if other family members aren't supportive. Be prepared for grief. Your parents are grieving the loss of their independence and capabilities. You're grieving the loss of the parents you once knew. Acknowledge this grief rather than trying to push through it. Sometimes the most helpful thing you can say is, "This is really hard for all of us." Timing matters. Don't have serious conversations when anyone is tired, hungry, or stressed. Choose times when your parents are typically at their best. For many older adults, that's morning rather than evening. Pay attention to their patterns and plan accordingly. Remember that you can't force change. You can express concerns, offer support, and provide information. But ultimately, your parents have the right to make their own decisions unless they're legally incompetent. This is incredibly frustrating when you can see problems they refuse to acknowledge. Focus on small wins rather than complete solutions. Maybe your parent isn't ready to stop driving, but they're willing to avoid highway driving or night driving. That's progress. Maybe they won't move to assisted living, but they'll accept help with housekeeping. Celebrate these compromises. Take care of yourself through this process. Having these conversations is emotionally exhausting. You might feel guilty, frustrated, sad, or angry. All of these feelings are normal. Consider joining a caregiver support group or talking to a therapist who specializes in elder care issues. The goal isn't to win arguments or prove you're right. The goal is to keep your parents as safe and independent as possible while maintaining your relationship with them. Sometimes that means accepting imperfect solutions. Sometimes it means backing off and trying again later. These conversations are some of the hardest things you'll ever do. But they're also some of the most important. Your parents took care of you when you couldn't take care of yourself. Now it's your turn to help them navigate this difficult stage of life. Approach these conversations with love, patience, and respect. That's what they deserve, and that's what will ultimately help them hear what you're trying to say.